that the NAACP is doing on these fronts, separate and distinct from the BP oil spill. In terms of what the branch has tried to do and put together, we definitely prioritized long-term health impacts as the #1 concern. Looking at a lot of the studies, we had colleagues and friends and other branch members come over from the Louisiana area, attorneys, advocates for human rights come over and tell us about the importance of being aware of environmental discrimination, some of the exposure issues over there with different towns that have been exposed to petrochemical industries and toxins. So that has been a big help. That has helped us to prioritize long-term health impacts as the #1 concern. The second and third concerns that were enumerated and that could be pulled out from all our different discussions and meetings, already discussed by Ms. Wu. There's not a big population of African Americans in terms of shrimpers or fishers that will be directly impacted, but there is a population of African Americans that work in processing plants, that work in secondary industries, restaurants and other things that will be affected by seafood as well as tourism. So that's a very important issue. Equally as important, if not more important, is the issue of recruiting minority and low-income workers unemployed. The state and the government has said that he puts a big emphasis on hiring Mississippians to do the cleanup work in Mississippi. But he didn't put as large of an emphasis on ensuring that those Mississippians were fully aware of what they needed to be aware of in terms of protecting themselves and, again, those long-term health impacts. So we got workers already on the registration list, already kind of registered for employment and work with these cleanup agencies that only have their bridge version of the hazmat and hazrock courses, when what's really needed is the 40-hour version. Another point that I'll make real quickly before closing.
Hold on, when you say what's needed is the 40-hour version, what's the reason why? Why would you say that's needed?
MDEQ in the federal agencies, NOAA and the EPA has said that for the beach cleanup, it was only the 4-hour course needed, and there was even a 24-hour course needed for people who would be involved in sampling and other kind of technical stuff that wouldn't necessarily be involved with oil, but might go out and take samplings of fish and things like that. There was a longer course. The 40-hour course was supposed to be reserved for those who had direct contact with the oil. But what has happened in Mississippi is, as the oil has not hit our shores, people who have pre-registered with these groups were required to only take the 40 hours on the pretense that they were going to go out and do beach cleanup, not be in direct contact with oil. However, they aren't being fully hired. They're only being partially hired. They're on these waiting lists. And then when the oil comes ashore, that's when they're going to be hired. And of course, because of the wages, because of the attraction, because of the push that is employment, you have low-income people, you have unemployed people, they're going to get pushed out there with the 4-hour courses. So as we can see in Louisiana, the ones out there doing it, you see all the news clips now, definitely have direct contact with the oil and should have the 40-hour course. But right now, the way BP and its subcontractors are doing is they can kind of wait and see policy. We prepare people with the 4-hour course, but then we put them on wait list for work, waiting for the kind of trigger to be that the oil will come ashore. And then just like in Louisiana, it's going to be some direct contact. So again, to recruit people, to promote that as gainful employment without the 40-hour context, we think, without the 40-hour course, we think would be a grave injustice and definitely have some long-term health impacts. So that's the major big concerns. I think there was one other concern that was a little bit smaller, not as informed, kind of speculative, but again from the Louisiana cautions about some just plain old decisions that are made in terms of what areas are prioritized. They talk about certain areas of the beach have a lot more value, certain fisheries, certain ponds and estuaries, things like that. We wanted to make sure that the minority water districts, those water districts that covered the minority areas and went to African American communities, are fully protected, or at least equitably protected in terms of the boom or that surface that's out there supposedly protecting the oil, but hasn't been, fully serving the purpose anyway. But we want to at least make sure that it is an effort to ensure, and again, our people don't have boats, we don't go out and do the mapping and the surveys, but to ensure that those waterways that cover the African American districts are covered and protected. It's a selective process, not the whole coastline is being done. So that's about it from the Biloxi perspective.
Thank you.